Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Rebecca White has stepped down as Labor leader in the wake of yet another disappointing election result. Believing the party needs renewal, she claims she's always had their backing.
A third straight election defeat, leaving only one option. Rebecca White's resigning as Labor leader.
I'm very proud of the campaign that we ran this election, but obviously we didn't make it, and I take responsibility for that.
Taking the top job in 2017, she led Labor to election losses in 2018 and 2021, then resigning for the first time. But Ms White was back just weeks later when successor David O'Byrne stood down, still adamant it was the right call.
I felt incredibly supported, but I've also come back at a time when people needed me to, and I've had the ability to have a lot more authority over the direction that we took.
It was a difficult term for Labor, attempting to stitch back together deep factional divides under oversight from the federal branch.
I think that particularly this campaign, Tasmanians saw that when Labor is disciplined and we talk about the things they care the most about, we represent them best.
But Labor wasn't able to improve on its 2021 result, collecting only 29% of the primary vote so far. Saturday night saw her open the door to governing in minority before conceding on Sunday as the party's admin committee declared the election lost. Today, rebuffing suggestions she was overruled.
If we'd had the opportunity to form government, we should have explored that. But the figures that came through on Sunday after more votes had been counted illustrated very clearly that wasn't possible for us.
Jeremy Rockcliffe wishing her all the best, celebrating her dedication to duty. Fellow Labor MPs taking to Twitter to thank her, lauding her work ethic.
There's a great opportunity for whoever steps forward as the next leader of the Labor Party to really take it up to the government.
Shutting down suggestions she's headed for federal politics, Ms White will continue to serve as a state parliamentarian. She's open to a cabinet role, but won't reveal who she's backing to be the next Labor leader. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania is bucking a national slide in job ads. According to SEEK's February employment report, postings were up by a little over 1%. That's compared to a decline in all other states and territories, with Victoria recording the largest drop. The number of applications per job advertisement also rose by 2% in Tasmania last month. The Marinus Link undersea energy cable is a step closer, with the federal and Victorian governments taking on co-ownership. Tasmania owns 18% of Marinus Link, with Victoria 1/3 and the Commonwealth around half. Tas Networks will continue to be in charge of the Northwest transmission developments. Cricket Tasmania says it's been blindsided. My Revelations Hobart Hurricane star Nikhil Chowdhury is facing a rape charge. CEO Dominic Baker says the organisation was unaware of the serious allegations that have been raised in a Queensland court, and the organisation takes matters of this kind seriously and will be addressing them with his manager as a matter of urgency. The Indian cricketer has pleaded not guilty to 1 count of rape in Townsville, the alleged offence dating back to May 2021. The all-rounder joined the Hurricanes in 2023. The Jack Jumper's miracle in Melbourne has been immortalised in Hobart CBD. Jack McVeigh's half-court buzzer to win Game 3 now taking pride of place in Barton Cope's lane, a show of support for the team, which 2 local artists have been working on since early yesterday morning.
Yeah, it had to be done. This is a matter of respect to the team and what it's doing for Tasmania. And we'd have the whole team if we could, but this is what we did.
Thursday night's home game is a sellout. After a pre-sale for Priority 1 members, just several hundred tickets were left over, which sold out within minutes. As we enjoy chocolate and time with families this Easter, hundreds of blood donations will be needed in Tasmania over the long weekend. Red Cross Lifeblood asking those who can to roll up their sleeves and help out.
Nearly a full house at Launceston's Lifeblood Donor Centre today. Plenty of willing volunteers filling the chairs to give blood.
It goes for a good cause, and yeah, I don't mind coming in every couple of weeks.
But the reliable regulars tend to dry up over the holiday periods, right when their donations are needed most.
With most major holidays, we do, see an increase in the need for blood because of road trauma and that kind of thing. But equally, the demand for plasma products never stops either, so it's really important we get those types of donations in too.
The demand for blood is already 3% higher compared to this time last year. Lifeblood estimates they'll need an additional 300 donations in Tasmania over the Easter long weekend. Hobart and Launceston centres staying open right through.
We've got lots of appointment availability over the 3 days. I know that in Launceston between now and Easter Monday we've got 160 appointments open.
So if you're feeling healthy and feel like doing a good deed, consider booking an appointment and rolling up your sleeve.
You can jump online, download our app, give us a call on 13 14 95 or just walk into any donor centre that's close by.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
There are calls for an interstate replacement for Tasmania's top public servant after Secretary of Premier and Cabinet Jenny Gale retired yesterday. Independent MLC Meg Webb says the hiring process should be conducted at arm's length from government.
What we do need to ensure is that when we put a new person into the head of the state service role, we do it with complete confidence that it's not a political appointment.
When announcing Ms Gale's departure, Premier Jeremy Rockcliffe said a new secretary would be appointed in the near future. A world-first climate-friendly milk is about to hit our supermarket shelves. 2 Tasmanian companies joining forces to produce the revolutionary product designed to significantly cut methane emissions.
Forging a new partnership from sea to paddock, Ashgrove is pouring its first glass of eco milk with a little help from the ocean.
Pretty much like feeding the cows fish oil, so it doesn't come through into the milk at all.
The dairy producer is teaming up with Earthshot prize finalist Sea Forest. The herd's been munching on a dietary supplement with a special local ingredient.
That seaweed, the Asparagopsis, that is responsible for that mode of action, is abundant around Tasmania and is native, so it provides a really exciting opportunity.
Consumption potentially halving the herd's methane emissions, opening the gate to a more sustainable dairy production.
It reacts with enzymes in the final stages of digestion and stops methane being produced or burped by the animals.
It gives consumers a choice, and for people that want to help reduce emissions, this is a much cheaper way than buying a Tesla.
While the latest pour is utterly green, Ashgrove promises it withstands the usual taste and quality test.
There's absolutely no taste difference. It is still our great tasting fresh milk.
The first consumers giving it the sip of approval.
It doesn't taste much difference. It's creamy, it's white, it's not been abused, shaken around. It's a nice drink. If you're going to put whiskey in it, put the whiskey in first.
Sending milk production to greener pastures. Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, residents have given the City of Hobart a roadmap to a more sustainable future. Members of the Council's first Climate Assembly have handed over 10 priority recommendations to the Mayor.
People want to see more public transport, more cycleways, more walkways and less cars on the road.
We have to look at infrastructure, sit with experts, climate experts, infrastructure experts to make those recommendations so that we will be ready for the future.
So more walkways, green corridors and phasing out fossil fuels from council operations were among the recommendations. 500 educators have stepped into a different kind of classroom at West Point, discovering some of the tricks and science behind effective learning. The goal, to improve student outcomes and better assist kids struggling at school.
They're normally the ones leading the classroom, but today they played the role of students.
The only way we can improve student achievement is basically to improve teacher practice.
500 teachers attending this year's International Science of Learning Summit, focusing on the best methods to ensure students retain and learn as effectively as possible, including understanding how young brains function.
They're all ostensibly the same. They may come in at different levels, but they all require the same kind of instruction if they are learning something new.
Chunking the information, having an understanding around the extrinsic motivation or distraction for students in their learning, and really being sure that you interleave and pace the information that you're sharing with your students.
As our island state continues to deliver an F when it comes to reading rates, understanding literacy has been identified as a key to improving those results.
We don't read just to read words. We read words to understand what we've read.
As the teaching landscape continues to evolve, particularly with the use of screens over books.
It's relatively new information, but it does appear that our brains respond differently to those things.
Today's session hoping to inform and equip our future leaders and even teachers.
People are going to contribute to Tasmanian society. They'll bring their knowledge, their experience and ultimately their wisdom to the benefit of Tasmania.
We can do better now that we know better.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Just over a week until tip-off in the NBL1, the Chargers women's team has locked in its second import player. American Sierra Walker comes to Tassie after a stint in Finland, ranking among the top 5 scorers in the league. The coach says it's not difficult to sell Hobart to international players.
Generally those players, are looking to take the next step, whether it's a crack at WNBL or bigger and better things overseas. So the setup that we have here in Hobart with the arrangements we have for training and the coaching staff, obviously is a big plus.
UTAS's University Basketball League season starts tomorrow against Sunshine Coast Uni.
Every year it's becoming more and more serious. We've got nutritionists and we've also got a gym trainer as well, and they're really helping us with our off-the-court stuff.
A bit different having to travel throughout the week, especially with uni and stuff, but yeah, just a lot of fun.
Both teams made finals last year in their first season in the league. They play at the new South East Stadium in Sorell at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Good evening. Hobart 21 degrees today. Launceston and Friendly Beaches our high with 23. Devonport 22 and Burnie 21. St Helens reached 22 degrees. King and Flinders Islands 20. Bushy Park 19. Grove and Strawn 18. Lyawini a high of 13 degrees. A few light showers did fall in the west. Mount Reid 10 millimetres from that cloud. It moved across the state but was heavier over the west. The large mid-level cloud band is still over the north of the country. Scattered thunderstorms are over the tropics and western parts of the Northern Territory. Tomorrow, a ridge of high pressure is over Tasmania, emanating from the system to our west. The troughs continue in the west, north and east of the mainland. The winds, west-southwesterly 15 to 25 knots, easing over eastern waters during the day and tending more south-southeasterly. Hobart 20 and partly cloudy for Wednesday, 18 the top for Geeveston, partly cloudy for Bothwell, 18 also there. Launceston mostly sunny and 23 degrees, same for Devonport and the same for Cressy, all looking for 23 tomorrow. Burnie expecting a top of 20 and mostly sunny. The chance of a shower though for Strawn on 17 and Curry on King Island with 20 degrees, while for St Helens 20 the top, sunny for Swansea 21 and 20 the high for Orford. On Thursday another fine partly cloudy day with just the chance of a shower over the southwest. Possible morning fog on Friday but fine again with light winds, and on Saturday a similar situation with temperatures pushing into the mid-20s. 32 and sunny in Perth, fine in Adelaide and Melbourne tomorrow, expecting 21 with a shower. Sydney 25 and partly cloudy, but rain for Brisbane and 26 the high there. Still fine and partly cloudy in Hobart, 17, 20 in Launceston right now, clear in Devonport and currently 18 degrees. We'll leave the weather right there, Kim.
Okay, thanks Murph. We will see you tomorrow. And that is all your news for now. We'll have updates later. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.